which is a significant underestimate. They don't take into account the other devices that the one-sided class war opened up, like tax havens, shell companies. There's talk, if you look at the neoliberalism mantra definition, it says we're committed to markets. It's total nonsense. There's no commitment to markets. What came out of it is what some economists call a bailout economy. Deregulate, first of all, allow the financial sector to grow enormously, deregulate it. What do you expect? Regular crashes, each one worse than the last. Didn't happen during the regimented capitalism period. Banks were controlled. It's not just banks, but those are the striking ones, as the financial system, which is mostly predatory, grew enormously. So you have a bailout economy, started under Reagan, got worse every time. When there's a crash, the friendly taxpayer is called in to compensate the perpetrators. You see how it really works. If you want to know about class war, under Obama, the less extreme case, which is always the more interesting. So when Obama came, he came in the wake of the housing crash and subsequent financial crisis. Congress had passed legislation to bail out the economy. There were two parts to it. One part was bail out the perpetrators, the banks who had made the predatory loans, huge insurance companies like AIG, which had subsidized it, all knowing what they were doing, knew it was a total farce. They're not imbeciles. But then they could read the statistics about housing prices going out of sight with crazy loans. But they were making money, so it was fine. So the first part is bail them out. Second part, which is also in the legislation, is provide some help for the victims, people who lost their homes, foreclosures, out in the streets, no jobs. Well, anyone who understands class war will be able to predict quickly what happened. Okay, one part of it was implemented, the other part was ignored. That so outraged the Inspector General of the Treasury Department that he wrote a very angry book about it. Okay, so we have the book. That's the way it works. It's the same thing with a huge bailout during the pandemic. It goes to the rich. They are fighting a vicious class war. And if it's one-sided, after they've undermined the defense, plenty of responsibility along the way, then you have these outcomes. And to see how extreme it is, it's really interesting to look at small details. So take a look at Congress right now. What's being debated is a reconciliation bill. One element of it, the Republican organization, I hate to call them a party these days, they've abandoned parliamentary politics long ago, but the Republican organization is 100% rock solid against anything that might help the general population. They've established what they call red lines, things you can't go beyond. One of them is you cannot raise taxes on the very rich. You cannot touch the one legislative achievement under Trump, the tax bill, which was a giveaway to the super rich in the corporate sector at the expense of everyone else. Can't, of course, punched a huge hole in the deficit. But when Republicans make a deficit, it's not a problem. It's only when the deficit has components which benefit the rest of the population, then it's a huge problem. That can't be touched. Furthermore, you cannot fund the Internal Revenue Service. One of the elements has been very significantly defunded, which means you can't look for tax cheats. That was not true in the pre-Reagan period. They did look, but that was one of the things that was taken away. The tax cheats aren't the poor. They aren't the working class. Their income goes straight to the IRS and forms. It all goes immediately to the IRS. They have no choices. It's for the very rich. They have batteries of lawyers who can figure out tricky ways to evade taxes. But the IRS is not allowed to look into it, not just to deal with it, not even to look into it. And this extends. One of the main, Margaret Thatcher famously said, there's no society. Either she was lying or she was stupid. She knew perfectly well that there is a rich society, complex rich society for the wealthy and the corporate sector, all kinds of organizations. In the United States, the Chamber of Commerce, Business Roundtable, American Legislative Exchange Council, which ALEC corporate funded, which which rams laws through state legislatures, which is pretty easy. They're easy to buy, business friendly.